let's dive into the world of RuneScape 3 and talk about a character build that it shouldn't work. It goes against everything we think we know about RPGs. We're going to look at a build that takes the whole damage is king idea, crumples it up, and throws it right out the window. It proves that real power, well, it can come from the most unexpected place imaginable. So this is the big question, right? In a game that's pretty much all about fighting, how can a top-tier character even exist when it's built on purpose to not land a single hit? I mean, it sounds like a complete paradox, an account with literally zero offensive ability that just crushes. Stick with me because the answer is seriously cool. And here it is. This is our answer, the Summoning Tank. The name itself kind of gives away the whole strategy, doesn't it? This build isn't designed to dish out punishment. Nope, it's designed to absorb an absolutely insane amount of it, all while a personal, summoned army does the fighting for you. It is a master of misdirection and an absolute monster of survivability. Okay, so how does this actually work? Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the core concept. We're about to break down the mechanics of how you win a fight when your own character is, for all intents and purposes, a total pacifist. It really forces you to completely rethink how you approach combat. So let's start with a clear definition of what we're talking about. A summoning tank is what players call a pure build. This means it funnels every single bit of experience into just two skills, defense and summoning. And at the same time, every other skill that would normally raise your combat level, attack, strength, ranged, and magic, is deliberately kept at the absolute bare minimum. I mean, this right here says it all. This is the complete role reversal that's at the heart of the build. You become the immovable wall, the unbreakable shield. Your entire job is to just stand there and take hits that would vaporize most other players. While your powerful summoned familiars, they're your sword. They're the ones dishing out all the damage. You become the ultimate protector, and they become the ultimate warriors. So we know what it is, but now let's dig into the philosophy behind it. Understanding the why, the reason someone would actually choose this incredibly difficult path. That's where you see the real genius of the build. This is all about challenging the game's standard meta and totally redefining what a powerful character can be. And here you can see the two ways of thinking, side by side. The standard meta in just about any RPG is simple, right? Max out your damage, get the biggest weapon, hit the hardest, and push that combat level as high as it can go. The summoning tank just flips that whole script. The goal isn't to be a glass cannon anymore. It's to become an unbreakable fortress. And the secret weapon here? It's that deceptively low combat level, which, as we'll see, is a huge tactical advantage. So why on earth would you go through all this trouble? Well, the payoffs are huge, and they're really diverse. In PvP, you're the ultimate surprise. Other players see your low combat level and think, oh, easy kill. That's a fatal mistake. For group boss fights, you are the perfect tank, able to soak up attacks that would crush anyone else. And for those hardcore Iron Man players, it's a super rewarding and unique challenge. That low combat level, it's not a weakness, it's your greatest weapon. All right, let's get into the nuts and bolts. We've talked philosophy, now let's talk stats. This next section is the actual blueprint for creating this unkillable character. And these numbers, they aren't just a suggestion, they are the entire foundation of the build. First up, and this is absolutely non-negotiable, level 99 defense. Pushing the skill all the way to the max gives you the highest possible damage reduction in the game, and it unlocks the ability to wear the absolute best tank armor. This is what transforms your character from just a person into a walking fortress. Okay, so you've got your shield. Now for your sword. Level 99 summoning. Maxing this out gives you access to the most powerful and versatile familiars in all of RuneScape 3. And we're not talking about cute little pets here. These are legendary beasts that provide all the damage, all the utility, and all the support you need to make up for the fact that you can't attack. Of course, defense is nothing without a massive health pool. That's where level 99 Constitution comes in, and it is just as critical. See, defense reduces the damage from each hit, but a giant pool of hit points is what lets you survive those massive one-shot boss attacks, or just withstand constant pressure in PvP. It's literally your buffer between life and death. And here it is, the secret sauce that holds the entire build together. The most important rule of all. Attack, strength, ranged, and magic stay at level 1. That's right, level 1. This extreme specialization is what messes with the combat level formula, keeping it incredibly low. Just to give you some perspective, with maxed defense, summoning, and constitution, your only combat level's 62. Even if you max out prayer too, you're still just a level 74, a number that is unheard of for a character this tough. But listen, stats are only half the story. Your gear is everything. We're talking the absolute best-in-slot tank armor money can buy. Stuff like Malevolent or Torva. This gear gives you insane armor ratings and powerful passive effects that reduce damage even more. This is not a place to cheap out. And your weapon? Heh. It's basically just a stat stick. You only pick it for its defensive bonuses. You'll never actually swing it. And now for the really fun part. We've built the fortress. Now let's talk about the cannons. Your power comes directly from the creatures you command. The section is all about your summoned arsenal, the real damage dealers of this build. So, meet the two kings of the summoning skill. On one side, you've got the Pack Yak. Now, this guy isn't a damage dealer. He's your logistics expert. He's basically a walking backpack, letting you carry way more supplies so you can stay in a boss fight for much, much longer. And on the other side, the Steel Titan. This is your fighter jet. It is the absolute king of offensive familiars, dealing out serious, consistent damage while you just focus on not dying. But, you don't just jump straight to the end. The path to power here is a steady climb. You'll start out with something like the Spirit Terror Bird at level 52, which is great for early damage and support. As you level up, you'll move on to workhorses like the Rune Minotaur. And finally, you unlock the legends themselves. The Pack Yak at 96 for that amazing utility, and then at 99, the Steel Titan. Each new familiar is a massive power spike for your account. Okay, pay a very close attention here. Building a pure account like this, it's like walking a tightrope. One wrong move, one accidental click can completely ruin hundreds of hours of progress. This quote from one of the guides really drives home the single biggest threat to your build. So, how do you avoid that total disaster? The rules are simple, but they are absolute. First, never, ever train your offensive stats. Not one single point of XP. You have to become paranoid about quest rewards, always double-checking where that XP is going. And finally, never forget that defense without a high HP pool is a trap. Maxing your constitution is every bit as important. Now let's put it all together. You've done the hard work, you've avoided the traps, and you've built the perfect tank. So now it's time to see how this thing actually performs where it counts, mastering RuneScape's toughest endgame challenges. This is where the build's versatility really shines. In group bossing, you become the main tank for top-tier bosses like Nex or Vorigo. You can just absorb their most powerful attacks that would wipe the rest of your team. If you want a solo challenge, taking on a boss like a Raxor will test your defensive skills to the absolute limit. And in PvP, you are a walking, talking surprise attack. And this is the core tactic in PvP. Your low combat level is the bait. Another player sees you and thinks, oh, look, an easy target. They attack, expecting you to just fall over in a few seconds, but you don't. You just stand there, healing through their best hits, while your Steel Titan just relentlessly chips away at them. By the time they realize they've made a huge mistake, it is way too late. When it all comes down to it, this whole build is living proof of that classic idea. By focusing completely on becoming this immovable object, you create a situation where your opponent's own aggression is what leads to their downfall. You don't have to out-damage them. You just have to outlive them. So, what's the big takeaway here? The Summoning Tank, it's more than just a character build. It's a statement. It's a complete rejection of the idea that power only comes from offense. It's a challenge to play the game in a totally different, more strategic way. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. In a world full of players trying to become the sharpest sword, are you ready to become the unbreakable shield?